Hello, my name is Maureen, and this is Energy Medicine Yoga Practice. The intention of this practice is to combine yoga, which you may be more familiar with energy medicine, just a basket term and the collection of the wisdom of many ancient energy traditions, like Ayurveda, yogic, Chinese medicine, Celtic, and many others. The intention is to bring balance to the body by integrating, activating, and aligning the physical body with the subtle energy body, the visible with the invisible. Today we're going to focus on one of the 5 elements in Chinese medicine. So Chinese medicine is based on the philosophies that see humans as microcosms of nature or the larger universe. So what we see, the changes that we see in nature, we can also see within ourselves. And therefore, we pay attention to nature, the seasons, the continuous change, the adaptability, and we seek to emulate it. So the element we're going to focus on today is the earth element. That corresponds to the season of late summer, which we're in. Starts about mid-August and goes through September. And it's all about transition. It's associated with the organs of the stomach and the spleen, which is a real emphasis on digestion, not just what you can physically digest, but also digesting your thoughts and your life experiences and your emotions. In terms of food, it's recommended that you eat foods that are yellow or golden in color. So think cantaloupe, peaches, corn, maize, and also round. And that's the season is all about this, the extra heat of the season and the ripening of the vegetables and the fruits that we see. All right. I think that there's one quote I wanted to read, a quote from Paul Pitchford, who has extensive knowledge of Chinese medicine. He said, "To attune with late summer, listen to its subtle currents as if living at the instant where the pendulum reverses its swing. Find the rhythms and cycles that make life simple and harmonious." All right, so let's take a comfortable seated position. I'm sitting on one folded towel. I'm going to suggest you pause the video if you want and get even more folded towels to help you lift your hips, because I'm going to give you a variation of our seated position. So you can sit cross-legged, cross the ankles, crisscross applesauce, and you just keep lifting your hips if these legs or hips are tight. If you already find that 2 blankets is enough to have knees level with hips, that's fine. But with this extra lifting, I'm going to offer you a slightly different position of lifting one foot, the one that's in front, and placing the top of the foot on the inner thigh, and then just leaning forward so that the knees now touch the earth. Your pelvis is tilted. Your hips are resting on that. If this isn't comfortable, then don't do it. If it's okay, you can stay like this. You know that you can always cross, and you can choose which leg is in front. All right, we always spend time coming in, drawing our attention inward and centering at the beginning of practice. So let's do that. Just take a moment to roll your shoulders, exaggerate it, even swinging them forward and backward. And to draw your attention inward, I encourage you to lower your gaze. And if you're comfortable, close your eyes. And just take a big, deep, exaggerated breath in through the nostrils and out through the nostrils. Just giving yourself a moment or two to arrive, to land in your body, to land on your mat. First, we find some stillness in the body. We can tune in and just listen heighten the awareness of your ability to take in sound, any sounds happening around you, or in the hallway, or in the house, or above or below you. Tuning into sound, what makes sound, what don't make sound. And our body is in contrast to that as we sit in stillness and listen to any noise surrounding us. And draw your attention to the breath, and I want you to really tune into the touch of the breath at the nostrils. Just as you inhale, and as you exhale through the nostrils. The pranayama I offer today is Samavrita, equal breath. So let's give it a count so that it gives your mind something to focus on. A 4-count inhale and a 4-count exhale. Counting them on your own. The count eats the breath, and the breath leads to the count. And you might be able to increase the number to 5 count or even a 6 count. Meet your body where it's at. One more round of breath here. Equal inhale, equal length of exhale. Release that when you finish the exhale. Bring your hands to meet at the heart in Anjali Mudra. Take a moment, set an intention for this practice. Think of an intention, just holding energy. Take a deep breath in. And an even deeper breath out. Release your hands to your thighs. Blink your eyes open. Welcome to your practice. Let's warm up with a couple of sun breaths, and I want you to think about drawing energy up from the earth. It's the yin energy comes up from the earth. And as we exhale and lower our arms, it's taking on energy down from the sky and lowering energy. Think of your spine as a column of energy. Hands off to the side, palms face out, and inhale, arms out wide. Your arms will match the length of your inhale. When you're ready to exhale, turn palms away. Bring that yang energy down. Doing this 2 more times, really tuning in. Inhale, press down through sit bones. Let your spine lengthen as you inhale. Rise up, maybe look up. Turn your palms away and exhale. Bringing energy down your spinal column all around you, not just within, but coaxing your energy out that surrounds you outside. Last one, inhale. In the earth element, in this season, it's tend to be associated more with calming the yang energy and lifting the yang energy of summer and lifting the yin energy as we move towards fall. Let's soften through the arms and do the qigong version of that. Palms face down, and let there be softness in all of your joints as you spread your hands out. Inhale, arms up halfway. Exhale, palms face up. Inhale, arms up all the way with a bend at the elbows. Exhale, index fingers and thumbs meet. Inhale, look up. Exhale, palms face down. Bringing that right down through your center. One more time. Soft, soft. Inhale, arms up halfway. Exhale, palms up. Inhale, arms up all the way. Exhale, index fingers and thumbs meet. Inhale, look up to receive. Exhale, bring that new fresh energy right down through your central meridian and release and let go. Extend your legs long. And if you don't want to be lifted up this high, you can remove one or both of your towels or blankets. Pedal the feet, bend the knees, take the feet side to side. And let's come into Dandasana. We activate the legs, press down the heels into the ground, pull the toes towards your knees. All these muscles should activate. Lift up out of your hips. Heart opens. Shoulder blades pull together. Hands are at your side for a little assistance. And then let that go. And bend the right knee and put the right ankle on top of the left knee. Thumbs are at the base of the bottom of the foot and fingers on the top of the foot for a little foot massage, starting at the toes. You're trying to move from the center out, giving it as much attention as feels good for you. Try to open up the feet. Paying particular attention to kidney 1. The only energy point on the sole of the foot is between the first toe and the big toe. Come down to the base of the ball of the foot, and that's where kidney 1 is. Just a little circle, a little extra pressure with your thumbs. And keep moving the thumbs down the feet all the way to the heels. The fingers are massaging the top of the feet as you go down. Spread the toes out. Spread the fingers out. Then you're creating space in the feet and circle the ankle. One way. And then the other way. Try to keep your spine nice and long. Don't collapse in the spine. And try to keep your shoulders broad as we do this. Release fingers. And the whole palm presses and pulls these toes back toward the body. Nice opening in that ankle. And then take the toes opposite way away from the body. And then make some noise. Clap your feet. Drum roll. Or just like clapping. Drum roll. Both hands touch the bottom of the feet. And shake it out. Before we leave and move to the other side, I'd like to show you an energy point that we'll be accessing later in triangle pose. So place 4 fingers at the low ankle. The pinky is just on that big internal ankle bone. And then place your thumb of the other hand right where the top of the 4th finger, that index finger is, on the inside of the bone. Okay, and then just circle. It should be tender. If you have the right spot, that's spleen 7. Spleen 6 is very close nearby, so even if you just circle. Really important energy point right here. So giving this some extra energy and nurturing, or extra attention and nurturing is helpful. And then extend your leg long. Keep the leg bent. Let's just use fingers to massage the hamstrings. So to whatever degree those fingers are massaging the 3 hamstring muscles, whatever degree of pressure you want to add. Squeeze, and then let the thumbs massage the back of the calf. Waking it up, getting some of that posture warmed up all the way down from the back of the knee down to the ankle. And let it go. Again, just pedal the feet. And then let's do the same thing on the other side. Bend the left knee, left ankle sits on top of the right knee. Thumbs massage the sole of the foot while fingers massage the top of the foot. Think about spreading, opening the foot, moving from the center of the foot to the outside. And don't forget to give a little extra attention to kidney 1. Just a little circling with the thumbs. Moving down the foot eventually. Spread toes, spread fingers, interlace the fingers. If your toes won't cooperate, then you're just going to grab the top of the foot because we're moving ankle circles. One way. Keep the spine nice and long. And the other way. And now let's drum roll. You can put as much energy as you like into that. Clap. And shake. Shaking it out loosely, loosely. Try to find spleen 7. 4 fingers. Pinky finger is at the bone of the ankle, the top of the bone. And once you've got the 4th finger, then let your thumb of the opposite hand come inside the bone and just circle. And just sense and feel. It should feel a little tender as you give a little pressure to it. Circle and let it go. And now, fingers to the hamstrings. So start at the connection, right? The origin point at the glutes, the buttocks, and then come down. Feel the different ropey tendons of the hamstrings. Massaging them, waking up the fascia. And then thumbs get the calves, the back of the calves. Fingers can squeeze that front shin line, that's fine. All the way down to the ankle. And let it go. Let's keep this knee bent and let's twist. So you have options. You can keep it just like this. The hand can touch the knee or the elbow can touch, wrap around. You could add a level of challenge by crossing the anchor leg And you could bring that anchor leg underneath to touch your back left sit bone. Just want to check in that both sit bones are touching and you feel comfortable in both feet pressing into the earth. You want to try to draw the bent leg thigh towards your ribs. Inhale, lift up nice and tall, stretch up. And then exhale. This right hand can touch the knee, or the right elbow can wrap around the knee, and the left hand goes behind you. And just tune in. Doesn't have to be your deepest twist. You want to wake up the spine. You might be waking up this outer IT band, and breathe as you inhale, lengthen, and exhale, twist a little deeper. And just tune in to what this does to the spinal column. Keep the breath flowing. Keep drawing your belly towards your spine and drawing the thigh, the bent leg thigh towards your ribs. And then inhale, release, and unwind. Let it all go, and let your belly soften. And then you'll begin to build on the other side. To stay right here. If this is enough, you're still going to get the benefit. If you want to add a layer of challenge, take it across the midline, again, hand or elbow. And the third layer of challenge is to bring the anchor heel to the opposite sit bone. Whatever way you do, lift up and find both sit bones connected to the ground, both feet pressing into the ground. Inhale, lift up, nice and tall, reach up, really feel your spine stretch out. And then exhale. Left hand touches this right leg, and your right arm is behind you. Draw your belly to your spine. Draw the bent leg thigh to your torso. And you inhale, lift and lengthen, and exhale, twist. Tune into what's happening in your body. Taking it just to the right level for you. It's the Goldilocks principle, not too deep and not too light, just right for you. And inhale to release and let it go and unwind. Come back to a cross-leg position. We're going to do a seated cat-cow. Remember, we often do this in table, and you bend the spine and you arch the spine. So let's do that seated, and we'll use our arms as well. So let your palms face up about hip height. On an inhale, lift your palms up to shoulder height and rotate the palms to face away from you and interlace them. Exhale, press the palms away from you, round the spine, chin to chest. This is your cat back. And then inhale, lift the arms up, lift your chin up, lengthen through the spine, look up. And then release the bind and let the fingers rain down as you exhale, release the pose. Really tuning into how this feels. Palms face up. Let's do it again. Inhale, arms rise up to shoulder level, palms rotate into interlace. Exhale, press palms away, round the spine, chin to chest, push your shoulder blades back, cat back. Inhale as arms lift, chin lifts, heart lifts, and exhale, release. Arms come down and your fingers rain energy down. Good, and let that go. Couple gentle shoulder rolls. Taking the neck side to side. And let's do the neck, a little bit of work for the neck. Take right ear to right shoulder. And then use this hand and just place the forearm on this left side of your head. Just a little bit of assistance, but it's kind of heavy and hanging. Release it. Neck comes back up to center. Left ear to left shoulder. And then let this left forearm come and rest on this, wherever it gets to, and let that arm be heavy, just a little assistance. It's never pain. Release that arm, head comes back up to center. And let's come to table. If you want to, you can use that towel or blanket to pad your knees. From table, let's get into our opposite arm leg lift, but take a little time just to sway the hips side to side and do whatever feels good in your body. Any movement your body's calling for, give yourself a little free form. All right, let's take, when you're ready, we'll meet in neutral table. Hands spread out wide like a starfish. Send the right leg back and lift that up to hip height. Muscles are engaged, toes pointing down, belly active, pull the belly towards the spine. And internally rotate this back thigh. So you can feel that happen, and that secures the leg into, it's surrounded at the hip joint to be aligned in its lift. Invitation to lift the left arm to shoulder height. Try to feel this is in alignment with your spine. Try, it's a sense for it. And if it falls, you're gonna just try to lift it back up. And then exhale, lower, back into balance. Take a breath in and a nice big long breath out. And send the left leg back and activate the muscles to lift it up to hip height. Pull the belly to the spine, keep that active, and lift the right arm up to shoulder height. Give a little extra by reaching fingers forward and pushing left heel back. Keep in mind to have this back left thigh internally rotated. And breathe in and breathe out and release. Exhale, hands down, back in neutral table. Let's rise up to standing knees. We're going to do moon salutation on standing knees. This is just a variation of the sun salutation. And sun salutations move link pose to pose, breath to breath, and are a wonderful way to organize all of your energy systems. You could keep toes tucked or the tops of the feet touching the ground, whatever makes you feel more steady. Activate your thighs, draw in your core, point the tailbone down. It's like Dandasana, but you're on your knees, palms face forward. Inhale, arms out wide and up high. Lift up Dandasana. Turn your palms away and exhale, lower. Draw the belly into the spine and inhale, arms up in front of you. Exhale, right arm lowers down to your side. And tip over. I'm not mirroring you to the right. Inhale, arms up to center, left hand lowers, and you tip over to the left. Keep your belly active. If you want a little bit more stretch, you could push the hips out. And then inhale, arms back up overhead, and exhale, hinge the hips and come into table. From here, I want you to take the right foot out wide. I'm not going to mirror you here. I'm just using the same side body as you, but it will look like a mirror. Toes point forward and the whole foot is on the floor. This is going to give us a hip opening. Try to keep your hips level. And then walk your hands forward for puppy pose. You feel this diagonal line from fingertips to hip. Hands try to pull your spine forward, but your hip moves back towards your heels. And you're opening up this right hip. Gazes down. This is a variation of downward facing dog and lengthens the spine. And then walk hands back underneath shoulders and bring right knee underneath right hip. Now we'll do the same thing on the left side. From table, send the left leg out wide, toes point forward, and the whole foot is on the mat. Feel comfortable in that and try to find some level hips. When you're ready, you walk hands forward for a variation of puppy pose. And the arms are long, hands try to pull the spine forward, but the hips resist. And the hips pull backwards towards that back right heel. And breathe. You're lengthening the spine. Your gaze is down at the mat and not touching. Your head's not touching. And you're opening the left hip. And to come out of the pose, you walk hands back under shoulders and pull the left knee back underneath the left hip. And now let's flow with the breath between a variation of child pose and a gentle cobra. So to the degree that your back is warmed up, we'll move through this. Take a breath in, no action. And then exhale, modified child's pose, hips touch heels and forehead touches the mat. And then inhale as you shift your hips forward and down into a gentle cobra. And then come back up the table and exhale into child's pose. Moving through this with a little bit of Salt and pepper. Inhale through table and rise up into your back bend. And switch the flow. As you exhale into child's pose, forehead touches. And release and finish in table. Tuck your toes and lift the knees an inch or two off the ground. And then rise up, lift hips up into downward facing dog and let your body warm up. You might bend both knees deeply and then lengthen. You might walk the dog with one heel down, the opposite knee bent, and switch legs. Really doing whatever feels good here for you to warm up your body. Maybe sway the hips side to side. Turn onto outer edge and inner edge of foot if that feels good. And then check in with the head and neck. Movement of the head and neck and let it be loose. Think an upside down V with your body. And then come back to table. Remove your blanket because we're coming onto our bellies for Locust Pose. When you get down to the ground, release your torso, stacked hands, and you can rest your forehead and rock your hips. Take a breath in and a breath out. And we'll prepare for Locust by bringing arms alongside your body, palms face inward toward the body. And when you lift up, we'll lift the upper body up and we'll lift the legs up. Everything's meant to be straight, no bent elbows or knees. And think about the energy, your center of energy being at your center of your body, at your pelvic focal point. And the energy extends up through the crown of the head, and the energy extends down through the legs and out the toes. So let's begin. As you're ready, inhale, press into your hip points, and inhale, lift the upper shoulders. Arms extend long, the fingers pointing toward the toes. And then lift the legs up as high as you can. Keep lifting. Okay, keep sensing. Where's your foundation? And then that sense that energy is moving, emanating outward, going up and down the body. Pranic energy is flowing to help you hold this pose. And your breath keeps flowing to help you sustain this. Keep holding, keep lifting up as high as you can in shoulders, and upper body, and legs. And then exhale, release, and rest your face on one side, one cheek. And really take in a breath. Trying to get back to equilibrium quickly, slowing your heart rate. And we'll do it one more time. All right, let's place those palms facing the hips. And inhale, lift up the upper body, lift the shoulders, head is in line with the spine, and then lift your legs, and then see if you can add a little bit more to it. Point your fingers, spread the toes, activate, legs are strong, arms are engaged, pull the shoulder blades together to help you. Using the back muscles in this pose, which are really good for helping you build good posture muscles. Keep breathing, lift one more time, a little bit higher, and exhale, lower, and rest on the other cheek. Nice breath in and breath out. Maybe rock the hips to let go of the effort. Keep cultivating that deep breath. And then hands at your heart, toes tucked. Inhale up the table. Exhale, lift those hips up, downward facing dog, and come into some stillness there. As you find this upside down V, really hinge at the hips, point the tailbone up, and come a little deeper in this pose. And then bend your knees and walk your feet toward your hands. You're in a forward fold, add a little bend to the knees until those hamstrings warm up. You're invited to grab opposite elbows and let your head be heavy. And to invite this heaviness in the upper body, try to sway back and forth. No neck muscles are engaged. You can literally shake that head, and you should be jangling, wiggling lightly, loosely. And I hope it feels good. And then release the elbows, hands come to hips, Pull your belly to the spine as you press down through your heels and lift up to standing. Arms sweep out. As they lift up overhead, you look up, hands touch. Exhale, pull it into your heart, and find yourself upright. Let's do the energy medicine wake up. 2 fingers meet the thumbs. Find where your collarbones almost meet. Come down an inch, out an inch. Begin tapping vigorously here as you inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Make some noise. Recognize that this practice is clearing stagnant energy. So let it go. Blow it out like you're blowing out a candle. Tapping here is the end of the kidney meridian. We touched at the beginning at kidney 1. This is kidney 27. Kidney meridian rises up. All right, one hand finds the center of the sternum. It's about 5 to 6 inches long. You're finding the center and you're tapping with one hand. It should sound hollow. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Tapping here is related to the thymus in Chinese medicine. This is an immune boost. Bring your hands to the upper side ribs, and you could use the inside of the fist, those big fingers, or you could circle if it's tender. Don't avoid it if it's tender. That's usually means there's stuck energy, which requires extra attention. Breathe in through the nose. Breathe out through the mouth. This is the end of the spleen meridian and what the earth element really focuses on. All about metabolism here. And the last of the tapping is the orbital bone underneath the eye, delicate area. So you're just rolling 3 fingers, tapping that bone, breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the mouth. You can go up and do the forehead bone as long as you're getting bone, not soft tissue. Right here underneath the eye in the center is the beginning of the stomach meridian. And shake your hands off. Palms face down and extend out in front of you. Same knee lifts to touch same hands. We do it a couple times. And then we shake it off. That's the homolateral pattern. The body prefers the crossover pattern. So depending upon what your energy level is, this can be really tame, and you can just lift up onto a big toe, or you can reach up long and lift your knee up as high as you can. You could even touch down to ankle. Keep breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the mouth, looking side to side if you want to add a little twist. One more time each side, and release. Hands come to the base of your body. You can hover or touch. Call to mind your intention. On an inhale, draw fingers, intention, and breath up through the central meridian, up overhead. Exhale, palms turn away, smooth it out. Inhale, draw fingertips, intention, and the breath right up through the body. Exhale, smooth it out. Embody your intention. Inhale. Exhale. And finish the energy wake up with one finger on the navel, one finger at the center of your eyebrow as you lightly press in and lift up. Breathing in through the nose. Breathing out through the mouth. Keep that pattern up. I'm just going to explain that you're connecting the governing meridian to the central meridian like a circuit, amplifying this energy. When you finish your exhale, release your hands to your side. Let's do our standing sun salutation. If you have blocks, great, you can use them for lunges. You can pause the video and get full toilet paper rolls or hardbound books will do the job. And really, they just give you a little length, a little extension to your arm, which can help you to lift your chest up, which will allow the blood, the breath to flow in. You can do without blocks if you don't have them. If you're using them, they go on either side of your feet. Standing in mountain pose, feet are forward and they look like the number 11. They're not angled out, toes point forward. Lift your toes up, spread them out, and then lower them. Press evenly down through your feet, lift kneecaps, activate these legs, draw your belly up and in, point the tailbone down, lift the shoulders up, roll shoulder blades back down the back, palms face forward. Inhale, arms out wide and up high. Look up, Urdhva Stasana. Exhale, hinge at the hips, swan dive your arms out wide and come into a bow, a forward fold. Add a bend to the knees if those hamstrings aren't warmed up. Point the crown of the head down and lift hips up. Then inhale, lift up halfway, add length to legs, spine, arms. Exhale, forward fold. Hands frame the feet as you step the right foot back, straight leg lunge. Lower the hips, lift the heart, be light on fingertips. Remove props if you're using them, and step back, downward facing dog, and find this pose, and then find stillness. You can keep lifting your hips and keep pressing the weight of the hips back towards the heels, but your body is in a line of this upside down V, arms frame ears. Adho Mukha Savasana, the Sanskrit name of the pose. Inhale, shift your body forward to plank. Squeeze everything. And try to sense your body as making a line from your heels, up your spine, up the back of the neck, and out through the crown of the head. Core is active. And then you decide if you want knees to touch the ground, but we slowly lower in a line of energy. Release your body. Press the lower half of your body down to the mat. Keep elbows bent as you inhale, lift the heart up. Pull the shoulder blades together and down your back. Elbows point back towards your feet, baby cobra. Exhale, lower, toes tuck. Inhale up to table. Exhale, lift up, downward facing dog. Sink into the pose. As we move through here, as we go through this circle, the cycle of the Sun Salutation, come a little deeper into each pose. On an inhale, your right leg rises long behind you, hips point down. Exhale, bend the knee, pull it to your ribs, and step it forward. Tune in. How does your body feel? Lower your hips, lift your heart, lift your gaze, and then press off back foot to join the front foot. Uttanasana, forward fold, hips lift, crown of the head points down. Let's add chair pose as we begin to lower hips, deeply bend in the knees. Let the spine be straight, pull those shoulder blades together, and lift the arms up to frame the ears. Just tune in and breathe. Hold the belly to the spine, lift your heart up, and then press down through heels. And lift up all the way. Lengthen your legs. Look up, Urdhva Stasana. Hands touch. Exhale. Release your hands to your heart. Hands come down to the side. And we go again. Inhale. Arms up high. Look up. Exhale. Palms turn away. Hinge the hips as you bow. The bow matches the length of your exhale. Stay here for a moment in Uttanasana. Tune in to those legs. If you can add some length to them, point the crown of the head down, and then lift up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana, and lengthen. Exhale, back to your forward fold, and step the left foot back. Lower hips, lift your heart, light fingertips. Step back, downward facing dog, and stay here for a breath or two. Spread your hands out wide. Press into the index finger and thumbs to protect the wrists. Pull your ribs towards your thighs. Lower the heels a little bit towards the earth. On your next inhale, shift the body forward to plank. Draw everything to your midline. Squeeze everything. Exhale, lower in a line. Inhale, lift up for your cobra. Maybe your arms lengthen, maybe you lift your chin. Just tune in. Exhale, lower, and inhale, lift. We meet in downward facing dog. Sense the circle you're making. Pausing here in this pose in downward facing dog. Slow the heart rate. Feel the movement between intensity and rest. On an inhale, left leg rises long behind you. Exhale, bend the knee. Pull it to your ribs and step it forward. Hips lower, heart lifts, fingertips are light. And then press off back foot to join the front foot in your forward fold. Hips lift, point the crown of the head down. Draw your belly to the spine and reverse swan dive, arms out wide. Up high, look at your thumbs for a little back bend. Hands touch. Exhale, lower to the heart. Take a breath in. And a full breath out. Feel free to blow it out through open lips. And release your hands to your side. Our balance pose today is eagle pose. So it can be a helpful support to have a block or that full toilet paper roll. And if you're using books, then you would need to use maybe 3 of them, or depending upon your size of book. The reason why we have the block is that it just helps you to find a little bit of balance if you start to wobble. You could also have warm your body just for a little assistance. You want to rely on your body for the balance, but having this block or the wall prevents you from falling out. All right, now I'm just going to do the legs first. And I want you to tune into this energetic prana moving through the body that will help you. We're working with adductors on the inner thigh and abductors on the outer thighs. So we need them both to be equally strong to help you. And if one is weaker than the other, which is usual, then your knees tend to bow in or bow out. So let's try to cultivate that and build the strength in both of them. With Garudasana, with eagle pose, you bend your knees quite deeply. I'm mirroring you, so I'm going to take this left leg over the right. Knees are bent throughout this whole balance pose. I place the ball of the left foot on the block for a little stability, and I use my inner thighs, the adductors, to keep the legs tightly held together. So they're strong, they're active, I'm building strength. All right, now hands on hips. Once you're settled, you can lift the ball of the foot off the block. Hug the foot to the calf. Know where it's at in case you need it. If you want, you can also tuck the toes behind the calf and challenge your balance. But what I really want to do here is above balance is now to build the strength of the abductors, the ones on the outer thigh. So your inner thighs are already working to keep your legs together. Now I'd like you to pull the legs apart. Just energetically. Try, they won't. Just want you to use the power of the leg muscles. You should feel the abductors active. And just tune in. They're both working. The adductors are pulling together. The abductors are trying to pull the legs apart. Really building strength in those muscles. And then let's let go of it. Lengthen, unwind, stand wide. And just try to let go. A little twisting. Big breath in, big breath out. And you'll move the block to the other side, or you'll find a different wall as we do the other side of the body. Feet are parallel, like Tadasana. Add a deep bend, deeper than you might think is required, and keep that bend, which is already activating those. Your core is active, hands are on the hips. Shift your weight to the left foot, and now the right leg lifts over the top. Use the ball of the foot to rest on the block just for a little stability, and activate the inner thighs, the adductors pull together. And they help keep the legs tight and keep your legs bent. Now, hands on hips, come into your balance. If balance is a problem, you can just keep a big toe touching, or just a pinky finger touching the wall. And just tune in to the muscles that already activate just to keep you upright. So the adductors, the inner thighs, are already working. And now we're going to add to it by pulling the legs as if they're trying to just pull apart. And you should feel that activate the abductors, the outer thighs. Feel them working together, building the inner thighs, strengthening the outer thighs while you're balancing and you're breathing. Core is pulled in and up. Now let's let it go. Lengthen the legs, step out wide. Let it all go. And just sway back and forth. Try to cultivate that fluid, easy flow, especially after a balance pose. All right, let's see what else I have for you. Trikonasana. We will come back to spleen 7, the energy point, and the inner low calf. All right, so let's just stand at the top of your mat. Step your left foot back a comfortable distance and let the toes point out at about a 45-degree angle, and the back foot is connected to the earth. Add some length to the front leg. We're not bending, but I want you to think about the micro bend in that front knee. If I lock it, or if I have, too much pressing backwards, I'm losing energy. We want to keep a micro bend in the knee, which really helps to activate the top quad. So it's almost thinking about pressing the thigh forward, pressing it towards the front foot. And yet at the same time, that micro bend is activating the back hamstring. So the muscles work in pairs. When this is strong, you're very stable when you add in the upper body. So just adding this in, your hips are open to the long edge of your mat. Let this front thigh press forward, yet with this micro bend, you can really feel the hamstring activate. It's like a little juxtaposition. Arms go out wide and then tilt like a windmill. Just coming down to where you get to. When you land, your hand can touch wherever it gets to. You might have a lot of flexibility and be able to go all the way down to the ground, but find a place that you can hold. And these arms are not the support, it's the legs that are the support. You're working on twisting the torso to be in alignment with hips that are facing the long edge of the mat. You're trying to equally lengthen on both sides of the body. You're keeping your head and neck in Dandasana, so it's in alignment with your spine. And if you want to change your gaze, you can challenge yourself and look up. Keep this strong foundation. The front thigh is pressing forward. Micro bend adds activation of the hamstring. Just really tune in to the energy you're drawing up the front leg. The energy that's coming up the back leg. And then use that energy to lift your torso up. Feet come parallel. And go ahead and switch to the other foot. So that other foot points forward. For me, it's my left foot. My back heel just turns in a quarter of a turn, but toes are about a 45-degree angle. All right, let's tune in. Let's think about this front foundation leg. Add a micro bend to the knee. Really think about lifting the kneecap, which activates this quad. And at the same time, you should feel with a micro bend this activation of the back hamstring. Just tune in, rely on that. Let those arms go out wide, and then lift up long and windmill down in triangle. The triangle is between this front thigh and this arm. So try to add to it. Try to lift up out of the hips to equally lengthen through the side body. You check in and see what feels good. Can you go down, or is that too much? Rely on the strength. Press this front left thigh forward with a micro bend. Activate that back hamstring and feel steady, solid, grounded. Triangle pose. Maybe you look up. I forgot to tell you to let this bottom hand find spleen 7. And again, it's an estimation. It's the inside of the bone. You could use your thumb and just circle there. And keep the pose. And then inhale, lift up. Feet come parallel and heel toe, heel toe, heel toe. Just lift the knees to come down to the ground. Let's do our malasana. So it's usually the suggestion is to stand as wide as the mat with your mat bisecting your feet, heels in, toes out. But you could stand wide on your mat, and you might prefer to have a very wide stance for your squat. You're just going to have to experiment and find what works for you. Inhale and exhale, squat. Keep this all active energetically as you press elbows on the insides of knees. You draw up from the pelvic floor to the navel to the sternum. Lift your heart, lift your gaze, square your shoulders. Keep active and keep breathing. This pose has many benefits. To come out of it, come forward on hands. One knee lowers and the other knee lowers. And let's come into Dandasana and use our triple warmer hold to do just a few half sit-ups, and then we'll go all the way back down to build core. So use your foundation, your legs, to really give you that stability to help you slowly lower. Press your heels into the ground. Pull your toes to your knees. Legs are strong. Press down, press and lift up out of your hips to do the triple warmer hold. Right hand touches left ribs and left hand sits just above the elbow, touching a spleen point, triple warmer spleen. And by touching these 2 points, you are creating the circuit, amplifying the energy. This calms the fight or flight response in our body. All right, inhale, pull the belly to the spine. Exhale, lower halfway with a long spine. Keep your head in alignment with your spine. Press into your heels and then rise back up. Let's do it again. Inhale, activate the core. Exhale, lower halfway. Maybe you pause here. Keep breathing here in that pause. And then lower all the way back down. And feel free to release the bind and let elbows help you guide yourself down or rely on the core. And when you get down there, breathe. Let all that effort go. Bend your knees, palms face up, constructive rest. Just taking it all in. Let the breath equalize. We're going to rise up into supported shoulder stand. You're going to need your core for this. You just lift your hips up with momentum, and your palms are going to be at your low back, trying to help you make a line of energy from your upper shoulders up the spine, up the legs. Do the best you can. When you're ready, you just use your core, lift your hips, you walk hands up your lower back, and you're trying to have a line of energy from the upper shoulders up your spine. And it's hard to know whether your body is moving towards this line, but you just do your best. You can flex your feet, you can point the toes, keep legs active, keep core active. And then when you're ready, bend your knees and slowly let your body return to constructive rest. And then if you have a block, I want you to use that for supported shoulder stand with a block. If you don't have a block, then use your folded towel. And think, what you're looking for is about these 2 inches. Wherever you get to, lifting the hips up a little bit and placing this block at the sacrum, not at your waist. It's a little lower than you think. That gives you a little benefit of lifting your heart above your head. And then we just lift the legs. They may or may not go straight. You can flex the feet, you can bend the knees. Meet your body where it's at. And the invitation, if this all feels comfortable, is to place your fingers, elbows bent, place fingers at the base of your skull. It's just a light touch. And you know you're at the right place if you can feel the tendons of the neck right as they enter the 2 bony knobs at the base of your skull. And then we're doing a little bit of eye yoga. So if your legs get tired, feel free to lower them. The eye yoga is just taking your eyes, not your chin, take the eyeballs to look to the far right corner of your eyes, while your fingers are lightly touching the base of your skull. Just hold them there as far as you can. The eyeballs are going as far right as possible. Then return them to center. And then look left. Again, chin stays stable. It's just the eyes that have moved as far as they can to the left. And then move them right to left, just zigzag. And now circle the eyes. Make as big a circle with the eyeballs. Trying to really go as far as they can, up, down, left, or right. Now go the other way. Circle the eyes the other way. The reason I have your hands here, these are electric points at the base of your skull. It's soothing and it's coaxing the energy to build when you have your hands there, the warmth of your hands touching these energy points. Moving your eyes at the same time, there is a connection between the eyes, the muscles of the eyes, and cervical 1 and cervical 2, the very first vertebrae of your spine. So that's the reason for this movement. Slowly lower, one leg at a time. Right foot goes down, left foot goes down. Lift your hips, release the block, and we are beginning to prepare for Shavasana by extending each leg long, walking heels out to opposite corners and feet flop open. Arms are extended long at your side, about 10 to 12 inches away from the body, palms face up. Your eyes can remain open or can be shut. And in this final pose of Shavasana, you let go. You release effort. You release trying. And you just rest in your presence. And you tune in to see what you feel in terms of energy, breath, and blood within. Remaining here for a few moments in silence, and I'll call you back to attention at the ring of the bell. Keeping your eyes closed a little longer. Take the time you need to be fully present in your physical body. Deepen your breath. Let the breath animate the rest of your senses. Let your eyes open gently. Keeping your awareness rooted inside. Let the room come to you. And you stay rooted in your core. And any movement, the fingers, the feet, through your whole body. Doing whatever feels good, letting your body lead the way. And then eventually you'll bend knees, roll to one side, and press yourself up. Coming back up to a seated position. When you're settled, let your hands meet at your heart. Bow your head to your heart. Call to mind your intention. Take your intention with you. Repeat your intention as frequently as you remember it. And use that to guide and direct your energy and your efforts. Take a big deep breath in. And even bigger, deeper, slower, smoother breath out. We end practice and we share the word namaste. I encourage you to say it as we bow to the light in one another. Namaste. Feel free to pause the video to have a longer Shavasana. It's helpful to have a 5 to 8 minute Shavasana at the end of a yoga practice. All right. Be well.